Welcome, dear traveler, to this winter Gothic library, where the cold world fades, and warmth begins to settle in by the fire. Let the music slow your thoughts, and allow the night to hold you gently. You are safe here, rest, read, or drift into sleep. As softly as falling snow, snow fell without urgency, each flake descending, as though it had all the time in the world. There was no wind to hurry it, no sound to disturb its passage. Only a steady patient drifting from the darkened sky. The night was heavy with quiet, the kind of silence that wraps itself around the senses and softens every thought. In this stillness, the world felt paused, suspended between moments, as if winter itself were holding its breath from the white veil of falling snow. The Gothic library slowly emerged. It did not appear suddenly, nor demand attention. Instead, it revealed itself gradually, like a memory returning at the edge of consciousness. Tall stone walls rose from the ground, their surfaces worn smooth by centuries of cold seasons and passing time. The stone was dark, nearly black in places, absorbing the night. Rather than reflecting it, snow settled gently into the grooves, and carvings outlining forgotten symbols and arches. With pale light, the library stood alone, removed from roads and cities, untouched by the noise of the waking world. It belonged to another rhythm entirely, one ruled by thought, by patience, by long winter nights spent in contemplation. Ivy clung to the outer walls, frozen mid-reach, its leaves stiff and quiet. Even nature seemed to respect the stillness here. At the entrance, enormous oak doors waited beneath a pointed arch. Their surface was etched with faint patterns, floral motifs, constellations, shapes whose meanings had been lost to time. Iron handles, cold and dark, reflected the lantern light in small muted glimmers. Two lanterns hung on either side of the doorway, their flames steady and warm, glowing amber against the encroaching blue of the snow-filled night. The light did not flicker wildly, it burned calmly, confidently, as though it had never known wind. The light suggested safety, warmth, and welcome, an unspoken promise that within these walls the cold could not reach you. As you stand before the threshold, the snow muffles every sound. Your footsteps are soft, nearly silent. The world behind you feels distant, now unimportant. Each breath you take becomes slower, deeper, more deliberate. The cold air fills your lungs, crisp but clean, sharpening your awareness, while simultaneously calming your thoughts. When the doors open, they do so without creak or complaint. They move as if expecting you inside. Warmth greets you immediately, not overwhelming, but gentle, gradual. The air carries the comforting scent of old paper, leather bindings, and a faint trace of burning wood. It is the smell of knowledge preserved, of time respected. Rather than rushed, the temperature wraps around you like a thick wool coat, easing the tension from your shoulders. The first thing you notice is the fireplace. It stands at the heart of the great hall, its stone mantel carved with quiet elegance. Flames move slowly within it, stretching and curling in a hypnotic rhythm. The fire does not roar, it murmurs. It crackles softly, producing a sound so consistent and gentle that it feels almost like breathing. Shadows ripple across the floor and climb the towering shelves, dancing lazily among the books. These shadows do not frighten, they soothe, they remind you that light and darkness coexist here in perfect balance. The library extends far beyond what the eye can immediately see. Shelves rise toward vaulted ceilings, disappearing into dimness above. Books are arranged with careful intention, their spines faded by age, and use gold lettering glints faintly in the firelight, though most titles remain unreadable content. To keep their secrets, there is no urgency to explore, no pressure to understand everything at once. This is a place where time loosens its grip. Somewhere deep within the library, a piano begins to play. The first notes are slow, spaced apart, each one allowed to fully exist before the next arrives. The sound is soft and distant, as if carried gently through corridors of stone and wood. It echoes lightly, never overwhelming the quiet, but complementing it, filling empty spaces with warmth. The piano does not perform for an audience, it simply exists like the fire, like the snow outside. Its melody unfolds patiently, inviting your thoughts to slow down and settle. Each note feels intentional, grounded, unhurried. As you move further into the hall, the world outside fades completely. The snow, the night, the cold, they remain, but they no longer matter. The thick walls protect you from distraction, from noise, from the weight of daily concerns. Here, there is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to decide, only to be. The floor beneath your feet is smooth stone, warmed slightly. By the fire, rugs lie scattered throughout the space, their patterns muted and worn, designed not to impress, but to comfort. Each step you take feels grounded, steady, secure. Your breathing slows even more now, naturally aligning with the rhythm of the music and the fire. Thoughts that once crowded your mind begin to drift apart like clouds thinning in a winter sky. There is space between them, silence between moments. The library does not judge wandering thoughts. It welcomes them, then gently encourages them to rest. As you pause near the fireplace, the warmth reaches deeper into your hands, your chest. Your core muscles soften. The quiet becomes a presence rather than an absence. It holds you, supports you, asks nothing of you. The piano continues its slow progression. Each note a small step further away from wakefulness. The shadows grow longer, calmer. The books stand patiently, their wisdom resting, waiting for another time. This is the threshold, not just of a building, but of a state of mind. A place where the outside world dissolves, where winter becomes gentle, where knowledge sleeps, where you are safe to rest. And as the snow continues to fall beyond the walls, you remain inside, warm, still, and untroubled, ready to drift deeper into the quiet that awaits beyond the door. The hall of whispering pages exists in a kind of gentle half-awareness, a place where nothing ever truly sleeps, yet nothing ever demands attention. And as you enter it, you feel that same balance settling within you. Your thoughts growing softer, slower, less defined, like shapes seen through falling snow. The shelves here stretch endlessly, not just outward, but upward, rising into shadowed arches that seem to dissolve into darkness rather than end. And the books themselves feel less like objects and more like quiet companions, standing shoulder to shoulder in patient harmony, their spines worn smooth by decades of careful hands, their pages resting as though they are breathing very slowly. The air is warmer here, infused with the deep, comforting scent of aged paper and faint ink, a smell that carries memories, even if you cannot name them, memories of long nights, flickering candles, and minds absorbed in thought until the outside world faded away. As you move deeper into the hall, your footsteps are absorbed by thick rugs and ancient stone, leaving no echo behind. And this absence of sound is soothing, as if the building itself is gently encouraging you to let go of effort, to move without intention, to simply exist within its quiet embrace. Somewhere between the shelves, the piano continues its slow, deliberate melody, but now it feels closer, more intimate, the notes arriving like soft footsteps, pacing your breath, and as if responding to it, a violin slowly joins in, its tone low and tender, weaving between the piano notes like a whispered thought drifting through a tired mind. The music does not rise or fall dramatically. It remains steady and restrained, allowing your body to relax naturally, shoulders lowering, jaw unclenching, breath deepening without instruction. The books seem to respond to the sound not by moving, but by becoming more present, and you sense that each One holds countless nights, just like this night's filled with silent snowfall. And the slow turning of pages under warm lamplight, it feels as though the knowledge inside them is not meant to be taken or studied right now, but simply shared in a quieter way, like warmth radiating from a wall long after the fire behind it has dimmed. As you pause among the shelves, your thoughts begin to loosen their grip, no longer forming complete sentences, no longer demanding resolution, instead drifting gently from one impression to another, the way the violin drifts between notes. Never rushing to arrive anywhere, the hall feels timeless, untouched by clocks or schedules. And this absence of time allows your mind to rest fully, because there is nothing you're late for, nothing waiting for you beyond this moment. The shadows between the shelves deepen slightly, but they feel protective rather than dark, creating small pockets of quiet where the mind can settle, and the flicker of distant firelight sends slow-moving patterns across the spines of books, each movement steady and predictable, reassuring in its rhythm. You may feel a sense of being observed, but not watched, more like being held within the awareness of the space itself, a silent acknowledgement that you are welcome here exactly as you are awake or drifting, thinking, or empty. The violin's sound grows warmer, smoother, stretching each note just enough to blur its edges, and the piano follows, patiently, never interrupting, never competing, both instruments breathing together in a way that mirrors the slow, natural rhythm of sleep approaching. Your eyelids grow heavier. Without effort, your body sinking into stillness, as if the floor beneath you has softened, and even the idea of movement begins to feel unnecessary. The books do not whisper aloud, yet you sense their presence as a collective hush, a deep shared silence that absorbs stray thoughts and carries them away, leaving behind a calm emptiness that feels safe rather than hollow. In this hall, nothing is required of you. Not attention, not understanding, not wakefulness, and that freedom allows rest to arrive gently. Without resistance, the snow outside continues to fall, though you barely remember it now, and the world beyond the library feels distant, unreal, like a dream you once had, but no longer need to revisit. The music slows, almost imperceptibly, each note lingering a moment longer before fading. And in that lingering space, your breathing aligns fully with the quiet of the hall, steady and deep, as if guided by the walls themselves. The hall of whispering pages does not demand sleep, but it invites it patiently, lovingly, and as your awareness softens further, you feel yourself becoming part of its silence. Another resting presence among the shelves. Another quiet moment preserved within the timeless calm of the winter library, where thoughts dissolve, time disappears, and rest arrives as naturally as snow settling on stone near the hearth, where the fire glows with a slow and steady patience. The scholar rests in quiet solitude, and the moment you notice them, your awareness softens further, as if their stillness is gently teaching you how to be at ease. They sit wrapped in heavy wool fabric, dark and textured, absorbing the warmth of the flames, their posture relaxed rather than rigid, suggesting long familiarity with this place and no urgency to move. The firelight rises and falls across their features in a calm rhythm, illuminating the curve of a cheek, the edge of a closed eye, the subtle rise and fall of breath. And in this light, everything feels unhurried, as though time itself has slowed to match the pace of the flames. An open book rests in their lap, its pages slightly curled from age margins, filled with handwritten notes that wander thoughtfully along the edges. But there is no active reading now, no turning of pages, only a gentle pause, a moment suspended between thought and rest. The piano continues nearby, quieter than before, each note softened, as if filtered through layers of warm air. while the violin responds with long, delicate tones that seem to stretch and dissolve before fully ending, creating a sense of endless continuation without destination. The scholar's presence does not draw attention. Instead, it radiates calm or reassurance that it is safe to stop striving, safe to let thoughts drift unfinished, safe to simply remain. The fire crackles softly, not sharp or sudden, but deep and consistent, a sound that settles into the body and loosens tension you may not have realized. You were holding, easing muscles, slowing the heartbeat, warming you from the inside outward. Shadows ripple lazily across the stone floor and climb the surrounding shelves, but they move so slowly that the eye barely follows them. And this gentle motion becomes soothing rather than stimulating, a visual lullaby that encourages your gaze to rest and your eyelids to grow heavier. The scholar breathes deeply and without conscious effort. Your own breathing begins to mirror its slow and steady, each inhale arriving naturally, each exhale releasing more of the day's remaining weight. Thoughts that once felt important begin to thin and fade, losing their edges, no longer forming complete ideas, instead dissolving into a quiet awareness that feels wide and open, like the space between falling snowflakes. The warmth of the fire seems to reach you now, even if you are not seated beside it, spreading gently through your chest and limbs, grounding you, anchoring you in comfort. The book in the scholar's lap remains open, unfinished, and this unfinished state feels peaceful rather than unsettling, a reminder that nothing needs to be completed tonight, that rest itself is enough. The music continues to slow, leaving longer spaces between notes, and in those spaces, silence settles like a soft blanket, thick and comforting, absorbing any remaining tension. The scholar does not look up, does not speak, yet their presence communicates everything necessary. That this is a place for quiet persistence, for gentle focus, and for deep rest when the mind has wandered far. Enough. As the firelight dims slightly and the shadows grow softer, the world narrows to warmth, sound, and breath, and the sense of self becomes lighter, less defined. As if you are slowly blending into the calm of the room itself, the scholar remains by the fire, unhurried, untroubled. And in their stillness, you find permission to let go completely, to drift without direction, to rest without expectation, as sleep approaches, not suddenly, but gradually, like embers settling into a steady glow at the end of a long winter night. As midnight settles fully into the library, the space seems to exhale, releasing the last traces of wakefulness into the quiet air. And the arches overhead feel taller, now their curves fading into shadow, as if the ceiling itself has dissolved into night. Moonlight slips through the high stained glass windows in pale diluted streams, resting gently on the stone floor and the edges of shelves. Never sharp, never bright, only present enough to remind you that the world beyond still exists somewhere far away. The piano deepens into lower, slower chords, each one resonating softly through the stone, while the violin drifts above it in long, drawn-out phrases that feel less like sound and more like sensation, a subtle vibration that settles into the chest and loosens the final threads of alertness. Candle flames lean slightly, responding to currents of warm air, and their movements are so minimal that watching them becomes effortless, your gaze resting without focus, your awareness sinking inward. The library at midnight does not transform dramatically. Instead, it simplifies, shedding detail, allowing only what is essential to remain: warmth, rhythm, breath, and silence. And in this simplicity, your mind finds nothing to hold onto, nothing to analyze, and gently begins to let go. The music grows sparse, stretching the space between notes until silence becomes the dominant presence. And this silence is Not empty, but full, dense, and comforting, like a heavy blanket laid gently over your thoughts. The fire has softened now, its flames lower slower, casting a steady glow that no longer dances, but rests, and with it the entire room seems to settle into stillness. Books stand unmoving ladders. Lean without purpose, shadows remain where they are, and nothing asks for attention. In this deep quiet, your breathing becomes the only rhythm. You notice slow, and even each inhale arriving smoothly, each exhale carrying you further away from effort. Thoughts no longer form images or words. They dissolve before taking shape, leaving behind a calm awareness that feels safe and complete. The library holds this silence carefully, as if protecting it, allowing you to sink into it without resistance, without fear, until the boundary between yourself and the space grows faint and unimportant. Eventually, without announcement, a faint light begins to gather at the far windows. Not bright enough to awaken, only soft enough to suggest continuation. And the piano returns with a final gentle progression, each note warm and slow, while the violin follows with a quieter, steadier tone, no longer heavy with longing, but calm and resolve. The fire has become a bed of glowing embers, radiating a consistent warmth that feels deeply reassuring, and the shadows around the room lose their depth, smoothing into gentle gradients of light and dark. Nothing stirs, nothing ends abruptly. Instead, everything remains suspended in a peaceful balance, as if the night itself is lingering out. Of kindness, your body feels heavy and relaxed, fully supported, your breathing slow and effortless, and the library no longer feels around you, but within you a quiet presence that continues even as awareness fades. The music softens, the embers dim slightly, and in the stillness that follows, you drift completely into rest, carrying with you the calm of the winter. Gothic library, where silence watches over you, warmth remains, and sleep arrives like snow settling gently at dawn.